Rev it up and welcome to Cars Yeah, show number 1650.
This is Cars Yeah, where you'll enjoy interviews with inspiring automotive enthusiasts. Mark Green is here to provide you with a fuel injection of automotive inspiration. So get in, sit down, buckle up, and get ready for a wild ride here on Cars Yeah.
Hello, inspiring automotive enthusiasts, and welcome to Cars Yeah. I am really revved up today because riding with me are two very special ladies, two ladies who've become very special friends of mine, Cindy Sisson and Theresa Gilpatrick, calling in from Mooresville, North Carolina and Centennial, Colorado. Cindy, Theresa, welcome back to Cars Yeah. Are you buckled up and ready for a fun ride?
Ready to rumble.
Ready to go.
All right, we'll have some fun. By the way, listeners, both of these talented ladies have been guests previously on Cars Yeah. You can find their shows individually on the Cars Yeah website. Just go back and type their names in. Before we jump into a proper introduction of why I have you ladies back, because today is a very, very cool and special day. I love having guests back who have done something new with their lives. They're getting into a new venture, and that's what they're going to share with us today. I want each of you to tell me one little thing that most people don't know about you. So, Cindy, we're going to start with you.
Okay, well, this is a little dark, but when I was 3 years old, I was jumping on the bed with my brother, and I jumped on a vaporizer and had third-degree burns over a good portion of my body, and I still have the scars today to prove it.
Oh, geez. Well, there you go, kiddos. Don't jump on beds, but knowing Cindy, she doesn't go by the rules, so I'm not surprised.
No more monkeys jumping on the bed.
Wow. Well, oh my gosh, that must have been absolutely horrible for you and probably worse for your parents. I can only imagine being a parent. Well, Theresa, can you beat that one?
No, I can't, frankly. I'll go on to the much lighter side, which is what most people don't know is that the first time I ever rode on the Colorado Grand, I was 6 months pregnant with my son, and I attribute that to his love for cars because he was really quiet when we were on the move and really busy when we weren't, and he has kept that up to this day. So,
that's pretty funny. My mother was about 8 months pregnant with me in Japan when she got on a Navy boat, and they sent her back over to the United States. She wanted to have me in the States. She wanted her mom to be around. And she said that when she got on the boat, I stopped moving. And she said she went to the Navy doctor every day. I think he's dead. I think he's dead. And he kept saying, no, he's fine. He's just, the boat's moving and he must be liking it. So maybe that's why I don't get seasick to this day. I don't know. There you go. But I think it would have been more cool to be your son, I think, and be riding on the Colorado Grand. What a way to start life. That's cool. Well, let me give you ladies a proper introduction, and we're going to dive into what you're up to today because I'm very excited and I'm very proud of both of you. I'll say both of these women have become good friends of mine. We're collaborating on some fun things that we'll talk about today, but mostly I'm just proud of what you're undertaking here. So let me get started. GS Events is an elite consulting group founded by Cindy and Theresa. Together, they bring decades of marketing, operational, experiential, and branding expertise to life. They represent the passion for all things centered around the premium automotive and performance lifestyle through their client network and engaged membership. They actively produce strategic alliances and business development for brands seeking a discerning audience. Their flagship offering, Women in Cars Events, exemplifies their mission to amplify women's participation in the automotive culture via rallies, concours events, auctions, restorations, and the business side of collecting cars. We'll be back in just a minute to talk with Cindy and Theresa, but first a word from our very valued sponsors. They're the ones that make the show possible, so give them a little love, give them a little attention, and better yet, give them a little of business because they're the reason I can be with you every day. Sit tight, keep your seatbelts on. It's going to be a fun ride. The best way to protect your vehicles is with a Covercraft custom-fit car cover. I know because I've been using their covers on my vehicles since 1975. Plus, they offer a multitude of options depending on your situation. Indoor covers include form fit, dust stop, the oh-so-soft fleece satin, and their very unique View Shield, a cover that protects while allowing you to see your favorite vehicle while the cover's on your car. Amazing. Need a cover that will protect your ride outside? Their incredible options allow you to choose from Weather Shield, Sunbrella, Weather Shield HD, Block It, Reflect, Carhartt, Evolution, Nova, and Weather Shield HP. So many options. Whether you're looking for rain protection, UV shielding from the sun's damaging rays, breathability, dust protection, snow protection, even ding protection, and protection from those paint-destroying bird droppings, they've got you covered. Their soft touch covers are safe for your paint, and the custom fit keeps them from blowing off. If you live in a windy area, get the Covercraft Gust Guards. They're a must-have if your car sits outside in windy conditions. Worried about theft? They have cable locks too, with built-in grommets that keep your cover safely on your vehicle. Their website makes ordering fast and easy, and their talented customer service department will walk you through any ordering questions. They can customize a cover for almost any vehicle on the planet. And I've got a deal for you. If you use the code YEAH120 at covercraft.com, you'll get 10% off your Covercraft order. That's right. So go to covercraft.com, use the code YEAH, YEAH120 at checkout, and get 10% off on me, Mark here at Cars Yeah. Covercraft, they've got you covered. American Collectors Insurance, that's who now protects my Porsche Turbo. Yeah, the one I call my Orange Crush. When it came time to renew my policy, my carrier jacked my rates up, even though I'd been with them for years. I'd never made a claim. No tickets, nothing. What's with that? Adios. So I started shopping around and kept hearing about American Collectors Insurance from fellow automotive enthusiasts, friends, and folks in the car industry. I did some investigating and learned that American Collectors Insurance have been protecting collector vehicles since 1976. I'm not a price shopper when it comes to insurance. I want to be able to sleep at night. I also want agreed value protection for my special ride. With an agreed valued policy from American Collectors Insurance, I'll be paid what my vehicle's full agreed value is, a number I set with the insurer at the start of the policy, so I know there will be no surprises about what my car's value is, should something terrible happen. I shopped around and decided to protect my car with American Collectors Insurance. Give them a call for a quote today at 866-ACI-YEAH. That's 866-224-9324, and protect the ones you love. Make sure you tell them Mark sent you. You'll be glad you did. American Collectors Insurance. Classic car insurance designed by collectors for collectors. All right, as we continue on this journey of life, I'm going to start with a success quote or a mantra with you two. Now, this could be something that you've collaborated on for this new GS events, which we're going to dive deeper into in a minute, or it could be individual. So whichever one of you would like to start here, what's an inspirational quote or something to get the tires turning here on Cars Yeah?
How about give back to give forward?
I love it. That's awesome.
I just invented that today. I was talking to a young lady who is looking to work in the automotive business, and I came up with that, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I wonder if I need to trademark that. I thought that was pretty cool. To give back is to give forward.
And you have a kind of special salutation that relates to that on all your emails, right, Cindy?
I do.
Will you share that?
Well, that quote is, to do less than our best is to sacrifice the gift. I've had that on my email for years.
I love that. And it ties very nicely to that quote that you shared with us. So, I've learned that after interviewing so many people that we are our best as humans when we're giving back to others and helping others. And that's what this new GS events is all about. But Theresa, is there a special quote or saying in your life that you'd like to share?
Sure. One woman who I have admired all my life, as a matter of fact, if I had that gift of if you could have anybody at your dinner table, who would it be? Eleanor Roosevelt. A woman is like a tea bag. You never know how strong it is until it's in hot water.
Yes.
And I have been blessed to know an awful lot of very strong women in my life, and they've been mentors and examples to me, and I've just found that to be very true.
I love that. And as you ladies know, and my listeners know, I've had close to 200 women on this show, all very strong, powerful women who've gone out there and grabbed a life and created things around the automotive industry. And of course, you two are right up there on that pedestal in my world. I want to talk about GS Events because today's a very special day. Today's the launch of this new business, GS Events, the website. And I would love for you ladies to talk about what this is, we could start with why you're doing it. What is involved here? What are your visions of how you can help and give that gift forward? So whoever wants to start this little venture, but I'm going to kind of let you both kind of play off of each other here because you've been working on this for a little while. I'm very honored because I'm a little piece of this, which makes me feel very warm inside. So whichever one of you wants to start, take it away.
Well, I feel like Cindy and I were brought together by fate. Cindy, do you want to take the lead or do you want me to go there?
Well, why don't I start real quickly on how we met? Okay. It's a cute little story.
Yes.
So, and why the 28th? Why we're launching on September 28th? Well, on April 28th, as many people might know from my last podcast, I'm a voracious LinkedIn user. And one of our clients is Adobe Road Winery. And we do a series of virtual wine tastings all across the country with big brands like Haggerty and the Porsche Club of America and the Ferrari Club. And the list goes on. We've even had Jay Leno, Vanessa Williams, McKeel Haggerty, Wayne Carini, just exemplary guests on our virtual wine tastings. But I thought, wow, if I could find the executive director of the Ferrari Club, I'm going to be golden here. So on LinkedIn, I put that in and Theresa popped up. So I sent her a LinkedIn request, and within seconds she responded and said, love to talk to you, but I can't talk until May 1st. Okay, so on May 1st, we start the call, and she says, I have to tell you something. As of yesterday, I'm not the executive director of the Ferrari Club anymore. I'm like, oh, well, dang.
She didn't hang up on you, did she, Theresa?
No, she had a very good sense of humor about it. It was pretty funny, actually.
Nice.
Well, but in my giving back way, I said, okay, well, how may I serve you and what are you going to do with your life? And she said she wanted to work in the automotive industry to help the industry understand how to market better to women. And I said, well, funny enough, about 2 years ago, I wrote a business plan to do just that. May I share it with you? And she goes, well, funny enough, I have a business plan and may I share it with you? We shared each other's business plans and we freaked out because they were almost exactly the same.
Great minds.
And we had never met. So for about a month, every weekend, solidly, maybe 10 hours a week, we would talk about our dreams and visions and what we wanted to do to uplift women in the automotive industry. And here we are today.
You know, it's a wonderful story of how people come together. And I always tell people LinkedIn is a magical tool that I think is highly underused by many people these days. They stick to the other social media sites. I've met so many interesting people through LinkedIn. So let's continue the story and talk about GS events and kind of walk us through all the different things. I gave you a brief introduction there at the beginning of how you're going to bring people together and help enhance people's lives with an emphasis, of course, on women and the automotive sector.
Take it away. Okay. One thing that we are really, really determined to do is to create incredible opportunities for people to come together and amplify this conversation. And as Cindy loves to say, and she is so exactly right, this is not the Me Too movement. If we don't all come together and all row together and make this happen together, it's not going to work. So our game plan is to bring everybody to the table and create great events, whether it's rallies or track events or driver education or learning about valuation or fully participating at an auction because you've always wanted to have your own collection, or through maybe some unfortunate events, you have some collection of cars or something that you want to divest yourself of, or you want to do some sort of a pivot. Whatever it is, we want to create those events where you feel like it's a safe place to come learn, join, do, accelerate your skills, have a great time, and most importantly, build your network of other people and other women who are on this journey with you. Have a great time and just elevate this to the point where it's so much fun. You want to keep going. You want to be part of our events year over year, time over time. So we will have rallies around the country. We will have track events around the country. We will have driver education around the country. We're just going to keep creating all kinds of events in all the pockets where automotive culture gathers. Come together, learn, have a good time, make friends, enjoy the journey, preserve the cars, and most importantly, preserve those friendships. So that's where we're going with this.
Well, it sounds like fun. And Theresa, real briefly, for someone that may have missed your talk with me, I mean, you have a lot of time. You were involved with the Ferrari Club. You've done rallies, tours, and drives. And have you seen over the years, let's say the last 5 years, a steady increase in women wanting to be involved in these kinds of events that typically were just drawing men?
I have, actually, and it was really gratifying. just to use an example I'm so familiar with, within the Ferrari Club, there is a whole method for learning how to be a Concours Judge. And they want to know about your expertise and what you want to learn about and where your wheelhouse is. Do you like the vintage cars, the newer cars, so on and so forth? And you can shadow judge. You can talk to judges who are active. You can come to events and participate and begin to earn your judges' badges and go around the country and participate and support other Ferrari Club events. And it was so gratifying to see more and more women step up and say, not only do I want to learn how to do this, I have a great knowledge set. I know I can contribute. And boy, do they row hard. Several of them are chief class judges now. I can point right to Leslie Blinn, who's one of my most favorite people on the planet, who is now going to head the Concours judging program for the Ferrari Club of America. She's a real fount of knowledge for the club and has done an amazing job working through the program with Chris Current. So that was very, very gratifying. I was also seeing more and more women take part in track events, and all kudos to the Ferrari Club's chapter down in Florida. They were creating a women's section at their Daytona event, and year over year, the attendance was almost doubling. They were having a wonderful time with it. So it's very gratifying. I think the time is right. And I think the opportunity is ripe to do this. We have the time, we have the skill set, we have the interest, we have the tools, and we just need to make this happen.
Absolutely. Well, you are the ladies to do it. My first female guest on Cars Yeah was Diane Brandon, very early, my first year. She's become a good friend of mine and was before that. She's a judge at Pebble, judges Bentley's, Rolls-Royce. She's been expert in that. She writes for them and so forth. And then most recently, I just had on my show Cece Muldoon from the UK, who's part of the IC JAG judging that Ed Gilbertson started. She was a tremendous attribute to IC JAG. Ed speaks so highly of her. So yeah, women coming on board, it just seems to be growing and growing. I think it's fantastic. So Cindy, for you, now Cindy, I'll tell everybody, Cindy and I become great friends, and she's helped get me involved in these virtual wine tastings we've been doing. I've been able to host 2 of those now, which has been great fun. And I call Cindy the super connector because Cindy knows everybody. I don't know how she knows everybody and why this has happened. And maybe you can chat on that a little bit, but that certainly is an advantage to GS events, right?
Well, absolutely. And I wanted to share kind of my ha-ha moment of why this would work. And it started about 2 years ago. Well, yeah, 2 years ago. A lot of people know that Lynn St. James is my best friend. We've been just diehard friends for 30 years. And at Car Week, the first year we did this event, Lynn suggested, why don't we invite 10 women in the industry to get to know each other and see how each other could work together. And we sent out the invitation to maybe 20 women. Only 10 could come. It was sold out in a minute. But the amazing thing out of that, Mark, was those 10 women had never met before. They're all into the industry. And they had a common theme is that during Car Week or concours or events, they never get invited to the parties. And from that first time, the networking and the camaraderie and the business that was developed out of that was mind-boggling. So we did it again the next year, invited 10 new women. And now all these women are working together, celebrating each other's successes. And that was the aha moment for me, is that if we actually talk to women at these events and invite them, as Theresa said, it's not about the Me Too movement. It's making everybody be a part of the conversation. The other thing, Mark, thank you for saying I'm a super connector. And I think I shared this before, is I'm a voracious collector of business cards. And what I love to tell people is I have over 4,000 business cards on my bathroom wall. And how I keep track of everybody is if I like them, they go above the toilet. And if I don't like them, they go below the toilet. And I can show you those pictures.
Yeah, I'm proud to say I believe my card is above the rim. Is that right?
It is on the ceiling.
Oh, wow.
Oh, but here's what's interesting about GS events. We can talk about how connected we are and how passionate we are and our big visions and dreams. Theresa and I talk about that all the time, but that and a cup of coffee is going to get you pretty far. So we've taken it a step further, and we have gone out and curated what we call best-in-class partners. And these are groups of like-minded people that want to advance their businesses and speak the same language as us. So, for example, one of my favorites is a guy named Mark Green. He's with a company called Concours Judge. He's interviewed over 200 women. And, Mark, aren't we going to be starting a podcast very soon, a women's podcast?
Well, it's a little bit secret, but a little scoop for you listeners. Yeah, we are working on a venture together, Theresa and Cindy and I, that is going to be very unique in the podcast sector, especially in the automotive sector. And that's all I'm going to tell you right now. But yes, we are working on something.
Well, and I won't tell who our co-host is, this fabulous woman. But when the word gets out, it's probably gonna surpass Concours Judge, the number one podcast in the world, because we're gonna have just amazing women on it. But we have other partners too. We talked about Adobe Road and what we're doing with Kevin Butler and all these virtual wine tastings. A passion of mine, as you know, Mark, because they're one of your advertisers, is America's Automotive Trust and the Tech Force Foundation. Yes. So what you're going to see is a lot of our programs that we create. We are going to ask that our partners name AAT and Tech Force under some of their programs, be it RPM Foundation or Women Driving Change, and the list goes on and on. So there will be a charitable component. We're in the day of technology, and one of the things that Theresa and I are very passionate about, it's one of our partners called Banner Season. You've actually received the cards and the brownies that we send out.
Oh, yeah.
We haven't been doing a lot. Oh, yeah. But what we like to do is when we do our events is take pictures of our friends and then follow up with a pretty card that's got the picture, and it becomes a keepsake or memorial versus a email saying, thank you, nice to meet you, that gets thrown in the trash. And I can't tell you how many times that I'll walk into somebody's office, because I've done these cards before, and that card's sitting front and center, and guess who they're thinking of?
Yes.
Us. Yeah. Every single day.
Yeah.
Theresa talked about rallies, Beauty and Keys, Jamie June up in the Pacific Northwest.
Oh, yeah, Jamie's up here near me, yeah.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we're looking at partners like that where we can work collaboratively with her up in her market. And, by the way, we have a perfect location, and that's going to be the new Circuit of the Northwest.
Yes, just north of me, like 10 minutes up the road.
Yes. Mm-hmm. So Brian and I have been friends for 30 years. We used to go skiing with our children. Brian grew up with Chad Little. Chad lives here in Mooresville. So by a coincidence, we corrected. So Theresa and I are advising the Circuit of the Northwest, and our goal is to start working with a lot of the car clubs, the PCAs, the FCAs, et cetera, and look at the Circuit of the Northwest being a great location for them to host their annual events. Athletes, we love athletes. And as I said earlier, Lynn St. James, we are working closely with her. She is the most amazing orator, author. We want to do more events with Lynn, so we're going to be out there trying to get some of these concours and other events to hire Lynn to come in and share her message. In fact, Theresa is working on a virtual wine tasting with Lynn with the Junior League of Oakland, and instead of doing a Christmas party this year, they're going to buy our wine with Lynn's book, and Lynn's going to tell her story to all these lovely ladies and be an inspiration.
Fireside chat for Christmas time. Yeah.
Absolutely. How to empowering women, and who better to speak than Lynn St. James.
Now, one of the things I mentioned early as part of GS Events is this Women and Cars events. Are there some specifics at this point you can kind of elaborate on that part of your venture?
Well, that's one is really top secret, and we're going to really save that one for the big announcement.
Okay.
But we do have some amazing things working on, but we're very blessed to also be working with a group overseas called Hot House Media, or for some of you might have heard of Magneto Magazine.
Yes.
We participated with them in their Concours Virtual. We did a huge virtual wine tasting with them. We raised over $15,000 and helped them raise or got to their goal of $50,000 for UNICEF. So we'll be their agency, U.S.-based agency of record. So that one we're very, very excited about. But we have some really stealth projects that are in the making that it's going to change the world. The automotive industry is marketing to women, and we're really proud of it.
Well, both of you should be. Of course, Magneto, David Lillywhite, Jeff Love. David was a guest here on the show. I'm still trying to get Jeff on the show. We got to nudge him. He's a little shy to get him to be on Cars.
We'll get that.
Yeah, we'll get him. Absolutely. Cindy always brings me the superstars, that's for sure. Well, when it comes to women in the automotive industry. This has been a challenge. And I ask my guests typically to talk about a challenge or even a failure they face. I want to kind of twist it up with you two today and ask each of you the question this way. When it comes to integrating women more into the automotive sector, what would be one of the biggest challenges you think that you need to overcome and we men need to overcome to be more accepting of women? I'm going to start with you, Theresa. How would you foresee answering that question when you think about it? Because you've been involved in the automotive sector for a long time, but no doubt you've talked to a lot of women who they have trouble kind of breaking through that garage door.
Yeah, it's a tough equation. But more and more women are certainly rising to the occasion, and they're looking for opportunities. And I'm one of them, quite candidly. I would love to have a driving school. I would love to work on mastering my car skills better. And we're working on some partnerships that I think are going to help me get there for sure. Yeah. But I think it's a confidence matter. It's a confidence and a sense of that you're in the right place at the right time with the right instructors. It's the sense of confidence in knowing that you and your instructor, or you and the environment that you're in, are really the right place and the right time, that you're energized and interested, and that you can dial in, that the opportunity is there for you. In terms of barriers, I think there's still some thinking that we need to work around. I'm saying that in a very PC manner, but I also would really emphasize that I think doors are opening faster and faster. And it's really gratifying. And when I think about that very thing, I look at all the young women coming up in racing right now. We have so much to be proud of and so much to look forward to. I think they are mentors and great examples of just going ahead and doing and embracing your passion, putting one foot in front of the other and saying you can do it.
Right.
That you could do it.
Yeah, it's incredible to me how many young women are in racing now that, I mean, I keep seeing them pop up, probably because I'm associated with you two, and you're feeding me all these people saying, look at this person, look at this person. Just this morning, Lynn St. James posted, we're friends as well, posted another new racer that's out there in the forefront. And I've certainly had a lot of them on the show here, which has been really encouraging, I believe. I think they bring something very, very different to the trade. You go back and think of, let's go way back to the great Denise McCluggage, who I had such a fortune to have her on the show before we lost her. I mean, she really broke some ground there. Now, there were certainly others. And I guess if you want to go all the way back to the really first one, and these two ladies are going to laugh when I say the name Bertha, which I'm not going to tell you why they're going to laugh, but Bertha Benz, taking her husband's car out and her son and going on her drive and being out there, and then people going, what on earth is that lady? Some people were calling her, I think, a witch or something like that because they couldn't figure out what she was in. But I think it's tremendous. Now, for you, Cindy, when you think about women breaking into the automotive industry, you've been involved. You're out there. You're a very strong woman. You're putting yourself forward to people all the time. No doubt you meet up with some of these struggles. But how have you... Or what I should say it this way. What kind of stories have you heard from women of how difficult it's been for them to kind of break through, again, that proverbial garage door?
You know, it's funny, Mark. I don't hear that a lot. And I'm going to speak for me personally. And I'm going to use an example. In 1991, the golf industry was suffering from the same lady, if you will. And in 1991, I partnered with the PGA of America, the PGA Tour, the LPGA, the USGA, and hosted a summit called Summit 91, teaching the economic development of the women golfer. Went out and raised a lot of money, did a lot of research. And what we found is that the men who were running the companies weren't really listening or paying attention. And it changed the way the golf industry marketed to women. So I'm using that as my benchmark. It was very, very successful. But for me, I feel blessed. I laugh because you heard my story about the Roush Mustang and engine, and I won't tell that again. But I don't even know how to put air in my cars. I can look at a logo and I know what that is in the cars. But what I like about the industry is the people in the industry. So for me, there's statistics that I continue to see, and I'm not going to name any names, but I'll use one. I won't name the company. Reach a highly targeted audience. 96% male and 4% female. And that was such an aha moment for me because I think, wow, if you actually marketed to the 52% of the United States population,
the women,
and you're only reaching 4% right now, right? Think of all the upside. So I look at it as upside.
Right.
If we can get the automotive industry to speak to her in a proper manner, she is going to buy the, can I say HE double toothpick?
HE double hockey sticks. There you go.
Yeah, HE whatevers. Oh, get it? HE whatevers. She is going to buy the car. She's going to buy the insurance. She's going to go to the driving school. The list goes on and on. So
Right.
I look at it as nothing but great upside potential.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I've heard that over and over again, no doubt. And in other sponsors I've talked with saying that a female market and buying power of women these days, and it has been for a while, especially when it comes to the car market, is very, very strong. Stronger than I think most people have any idea that it could be. I think it's absolutely fantastic. Is there anything else that you wanted to touch on with GS Events that maybe I haven't asked you? Because I really want people to know about what you're doing, because this is really, I won't say revolutionary, but in a way, I kind of feel like it is, because some of the things you're going to be doing had not been done before.
Well, one of our partners I wanted to share, and I'm really proud of this partnership, and I'm actually an investor in this company. It's a guy named Felix Sabatis, some of the listeners might know of, who his son Chani actually introduced me to, but it's an anonymous networking platform called GoGig.com. And why is it appropriate for this conversation is GoGig is all about anonymity. It removes all discrimination in hiring practices based on age, race, ethnicity, gender, country of origin, religion, and veteran status. It's a free app for people to sign up. It's a mobile app, and it marries people based on, believe it or not, their social media. And there's 30 questions that you get asked, and it spits out this pro forma, and then the hiring company will hire you based on the way you answer the questions, not how old you are or what gender you are or what race. And I'm really proud to have them as one of our partners.
Oh, no doubt. Yeah, overcoming a lot of those obstacles and barriers that have existed for so long. Theresa, anything else that you wanted to touch on about GS Events?
Sure. Thanks, Mark. You know, what I have found is when Cindy and I really started on this journey separately years ago, we clearly had been doing our homework, and we had gone down every rabbit hole we could, Googling women and cars. And don't get us started on what happens when you Google women and cars, which is why our website is not called Women and Cars.
Yeah.
But we were looking at all the different aspects of where women contribute to or lead or want to go in terms of their automotive, their car collector passions and all of that. And what we found were people are doing things really, really well in various buckets, in various niches. What GS Events is doing is stitching it all together. We're creating a much more broad platform where people can come and play and learn. And that's what I'm really, really proud of. We want to stitch together everybody's conversation, elevate it in all the different directions, and bring all these voices together. People are doing their thing really, really well. There are women who work in automotive dealerships. There are women who rent their own cars. There are women who write book reviews. There are women who are in social media because they know cars inside and out and they can talk everybody through it. There are women who drive. There are women who design rallies. We want to bring them all together. And that's very unique in this marketplace. And if we can create places and spaces for them to come together and broaden their markets and elevate their conversation, everybody wins under our platform. All boats rise. And that's our goal.
Again, I'm really proud of both of you of what you're doing. And I'm very honored to have been a little piece of this travel plan. We're just beginning this journey. And as we said earlier, there's going to be a really cool new podcast coming along that we'll share with everybody. The Cars Yeah listeners will learn about it first when we get it to a point of pulling open the garage door and pulling that car out. It's going to involve another very talented lady, and I will only let you know this. It's somebody who's already been on the Cars Yeah podcast. So that's all the secret I'm going to give up today. All right. Well, again, I'm so happy to bring you on board. Now, this show is going to be a little different than the past because since you both have already been on the show, I'm not going to ask you all the normal questions when I dive into your personal history. And I want the listeners to know you can find both Theresa and Cindy's show on the Cars Yeah website. Just go back and listen to them there. But I do want to run through because it's kind of interesting to see how you've grown over the years. Let's put it that way since you were past on the show. So let's do this. We're going to do kind of a lightning round here. Very quick answers to this. What was your first really special car, Cindy?
Well, you ask car or bike or whatever, and this time I'm going to say was a Harley Davidson, a roadster that I actually was crazy enough to ride across the country and was one of the creators of the first Kyle Petty charity ride that is now celebrating its 25th year. There was only 2 women on the ride that rode what they say, not bitch, right? That I actually rode my own bike. And it was such an inspiration because the next year, many, many women went out and got their license. But I had never ridden a Harley in my life. I didn't know what I was doing, but I rode across the country and it was the greatest thing I've ever done. Except for have my son, of course.
Oh, there you go. Well, I'll tell you right now, listeners, if that didn't put Cindy on a massively tall pedestal in your world, you might as well dial into some other podcast because that's insane. Theresa, how about you? First really special vehicle.
An 84 308 GTSI Quattro Valve. Absolutely love the car. I spent a ton of time in it. I will never forget driving it with the top out. And mastering a downshift as I was going over Independence Pass driving into Aspen with the rest of the Ferrari club. We were going for a club weekend, and it was just one of those moments where you and the car are just rowing together, and it was magic.
Okay, Cars Yeah listeners, do I know what kind of women to hang around with, or do I know what kind of women to hang around with? Holy cow, there you go. I love it. This is very cool. Okay, my introspective question. No reason why, but real quick answers here. Cindy, if you woke up tomorrow and you were a vehicle, what would Cindy Sisson be?
Oh, a Porsche. I love Porsches. I own a beautiful 2006 black cabriolet, and her name's Linda, and that's my favorite car.
I love it. Linda, I like that too. Okay, Theresa, are we going back to Ferrari land?
We are. I'm so sorry, but I'm really not sorry, Mark. If I could be any car, I know. I am.
Okay, ladies.
I own it.
Calm down.
No,
a 288 GTO.
Because I like our Ferrari people. Go back and start over.
No. We all love our 288 GTO. Okay, again. Whew. All right, I'm traveling in some fast-paced ladies here. Oh, here's a good one. If both of you could sit down and have a drink or a meal with anyone in the automotive sector, Cindy, who would your answer be?
Does it have to be in the automotive sector?
No, it could be anybody in the world if you'd like.
Okay. Well, I like Tito's, so I want to have a drink with Tito's beverage.
Oh, okay. Okay, that threw me for a loop. How about you, Theresa?
Believe it or not, Mark, you brought up somebody earlier, Bertha Benz.
Bertha!
I would love to ask her what, in that final moment where she said, I'm going to go do this, I'd love to know, what was going on in her head and if she was smiling when she did it. I'd love to know.
I'm guessing she was smiling pretty big.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I always ask my guests about a resource, but you know what? I'm going to skip this one because the only resource you need to know about today is gsevents.live, right?
Correct.
Okay, got that one right. gsevents.live. Again, I'll put a link to that, but they're very easy to find. Okay, I love books. I love reading. So how about a book that you would recommend, Cindy?
Well, our dear friend Deb Pollock just sent this to me, and I am loving it. It's called Badass Affirmations, The Wit and Wisdom of Wild Women. And there's lovely ladies like Beyonce and Ayn Rand and Helen Keller and Taylor Swift and even Joan of Arc and Madonna that have these affirmations that are just, you're going to be hearing from them. They might be my new signature on my email.
Okay, that sounds cool. No one's ever recommended that book. That's a first. How about you, Theresa?
If you can Google and find it, the book that Kimi Räikkönen wrote, it's a series of haikus, is one of the funniest things you would ever read in your life. They're hysterical.
That's interesting.
And you would never know to look at him.
No. I mean, Kimi the Iceman, I mean, he's just kind of, interesting. Okay. Well, there's 2 new books for the Cars Yeah resources guide. If you go to carsyeah.com and click on resources, you'll find guest recommended books. Go under there because there's close to 1,700 books. Now there's 1,702 books listed there. Quick, easy clicks to buy. One last quick question before I let you ladies go. I'm going to buy you each a very cool car just to congratulate you for launching GS Events. This needs to be something fun. It needs to be the only fun car you have in your garage, so you better pick one that ticks all the right boxes. We're going to start with you, Theresa, because I think you're going to be an expensive date today.
I'm going to fool you, Mark.
Really?
I am.
Okay.
Yes. You want to know? So a 1967 Lincoln Continental convertible, and it needs to be that beautiful aqua with a white interior.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Totally knocked me off my feet. I'm like, what? The Ferrari lady wants a Lincoln Continental? I got to ask you.
I think they're beautiful.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Well, you'd look pretty good in that thing. Yeah. So, Cindy, are you going to be beating her down the roadway in your car?
Well, last time I said the Interstate Bosley 2, and I still love that car, but I'm itching for a 64.5 convertible Mustang.
Oh, okay. Well, you guys aren't going to beat me up the wallet up too bad today here at Cars. Yeah. So I appreciate that. I know you guys have very high taste. I was afraid I was going to have to shut the whole thing down after this one. Buy a couple matching GTOs or some kind of 275 GTVs or I don't know, something crazy. But, well, classy choices by classy ladies. I think that's very, very cool. You both have taken me. You always take me on a fun ride. This has been so great. Again, I'm very honored to be a little part of this amazing launch with you two. We're going to have some fun together in the upcoming weeks and months and years. I think this is going to be one hell of an awesome ride. Before I let you go, though, I'd love each of you to give us one little parting piece of wisdom or guidance. Start with you, Cindy.
Take your friends seriously and always give back.
Yes, absolutely. Theresa?
Live with gratitude.
Pretty simple, pretty direct, but they both work very, very well. I'd encourage you to check out the website just launched today, gsevents.live. Check it out. Also, of course, our charity of choice here, TechForce. You hear me talk about them every day here on the show. Check them out as well. These ladies are going to do some things in the world for the automotive sector and for women that are going to blow you away. So pay attention. And if you want to reach out to any of them, you can do it through the website. You can find everything we've talked about today on this show notes page. Just type in Cindy and Theresa, and their page will pop right up with links. And make sure you go back and listen to both of their shows since they're both old. I would say old. That's not something you ever say to a lady. They're past Cars Yeah alumni here at Cars Yeah. Put your foot in your mouth, Mark, right at the end of a great show. That's a really right way to do it. Listen, you two, thank you for being so generous today with your time and expertise. You both are great. I'm so fortunate to have you in my lives. Until we talk again, I'll see both of you down the road.
Thank you, Mark.
Thanks, Mark. Awesome.
You're welcome. Let's step away from the conversation and talk about our charity of choice here at Cars Yeah, America's Automotive Trust. America's Automotive Trust is a group of like-minded nonprofits that are working together to preserve and promote car culture across the country. Together, they provide scholarships and grants to aspiring technicians and restoration artists. They provide youth education programs and bring communities together through auto-related events, car shows, and drives. Among these nonprofits is TechForce Foundation, a great organization dedicated to solving the technician shortage that threatens the transportation industry today. By providing career development resources and increasing awareness and enthusiasm for the tech profession, TechForce is bringing bright young students into the auto, diesel, aviation, marine, motorcycle, motorsports, and restoration worlds. To date, they've awarded more than $10 million in scholarships and grants to tech students. And in times like these, I don't have to tell you how essential those techs are, keeping our delivery and emergency vehicles running and keeping America rolling. To learn more about TechForce or to make a donation to this cause, visit www.techforce.org. You'll be glad you did. My favorite collector car magazine is Keith Martin's Sports Car Market. I've been a subscriber for decades. Sports Car Market is the Wall Street Journal for enthusiasts and collectors. It's your monthly must-read, whether you dream of owning a collector car, maybe you have two, or maybe you've got 200. Sports Car Market has been around for 31 years, and it's filled with valuable articles, intelligent write-ups, and the latest auction sales. Go to sportscarmarket.com and subscribe today. Here's a couple deals I have for you just for listening here on Cars Yeah. If you use the checkout code Cars Yeah, you'll receive a 50% discount on your digital subscription at Sports Car Market. That's an exclusive offer from Cars Yeah. And guess what? Here's another deal. If you'd like to get the actual magazine, use the code BSH for buy, sell, hold. That's code BSH, and you'll get $10 off your annual print subscription. That's right, $10 off. Both of these are exclusive offers here at Cars Yeah for Sports Car Market Magazine. Just go to sportscarmarket.com and get your deals today. Kevin Buckler is a winning racer and team owner of the Racers Group. He has over 100 professional wins, multiple wins at the 24-hour of Daytona, and a win at Le Mans. Kevin realized the racing world is about the people and founded Adobe Road Winery. He and his team have created a winning combination with The Racing Series, 4 ultra-premium red wine blends that are in a class of their own with a racing twist. Just like in racing, these wines comprise of art, precision, engineering, science, superb taste, all blended together with a whole lot of fun. There are 4 carefully crafted blends with race-inspired names: Redline, Apex, Shift, and the 24. When you purchase all 4, you get the entire lineup in a beautifully designed gift box. There's a printed description of the blends inside the box lid, and every bottle is parked in a protective, die-cut placeholder. The bottles feature 3-dimensional labels, and I promise you'll want to keep them after enjoying these delicious wines. The box is so cool, you'll want to keep it too. The Racing Series is a killer gift for the automotive enthusiasts in your life, and I have a deal for you. If you use the code CARSYEAH, all one word, all caps, at checkout, you'll get $10 off any purchase of wine from the Racing Series. Your wine ships promptly and arrives quickly. Use the code CARSYEAH at checkout for $10 off on your purchase today. There's always a seat at the table for excellence with the Racing Series. Go to adoberoadwines.com and use the code CARSYEAH today to get your deal. Cheers! If you're listening to Cars Yeah, you've probably spent some time working on your favorite ride. But how confident are you working on your finances? You may be able to rebuild a fuel injection system, but can you decipher the details of a mutual fund? If you're like me, investments, insurance, annuities, budgeting, and other financial concepts may seem a bit daunting, but what if I told you there's a book that describes these subjects and more in an easy-to-read and a very humorous way? My friend Chris Kimball, CFP, a longtime sponsor and past guest here on Cars Yeah, has written that book, and it's titled The Saga of Ike and Penny, a couple's humorous journey through the confusing world of finance. It's a fun look at things you need to know, everything from investing to effective ways to get rid of credit card debt, and it's probably the only book on finance with a VMAX on the front cover and a classic Mini Cooper on the back. The book's available at Amazon for just $10, and this book will dramatically improve the direction of your financial future. I gave copies to each of my children. All securities are through Money Concepts Capital Corp. Christopher Kimball Financial Services is not affiliated with Money Concepts Capital Corp. Get your copy, The Saga of Ike and Penny, today.
Thank you so much for joining us on today's ride here at Cars Yeah. Drive on over to carsyeah.com to find show notes and inspiring automotive fun. Download your free copy of Filler Up, a fun book filled with gorgeous photographs of fuel filler fun, including quotes from more inspiring automotive enthusiasts. Download your copy today, and we'll see you next time on Cars Yeah.